But I think it's rigged.
Is it? Oh, is it? Oh, it's just taped together. You want to take this off?
I do want to take this off.
Okay, go ahead.
But this is a problem, right?
Yeah, it's okay. You can leave it on for now. I'll just mute it. It's totally fine. Yeah, just pretend like it's what you're using.
Pretend like it's. But I can't. I don't want the mask on, and I feel like I.
Yeah, you want me to take it off you?
Please.
I got you.
That's too fancy for me, Ryan. I appreciate the thought.
Yeah, I did my best. Girl.
Hey, can you visit this table? All right, this is gonna be a lot of adjusting tonight. Welcome to the tall world, everybody. Celeste, that's Kenya. It's Kenya. Celeste. Go together. Go to her. All right, let me know when I'm live. All right. What up, Denver, Colorado? Thank y'all so much for tuning in, for coming out. This is the release party for the Dark Goddess Mint Mocha, which is a drink that's named after me. It's really exciting. But more than that, we really felt like we needed to come together as a community to have some community space to share, to grieve, to be angry, to be happy, to find joy, to find bliss. This is entitled Messages from the Void. And that title came to me as a way to describe what I've been going through. I don't know what y'all been going through, but it's been mad dark for a little bit. And so I needed a space where I can be like, what are other people, what poetry, what songs, what quotes are other people using to get through this time? I know that how I heal and how I move through things is through poetry. So I was like, let me get all my poet friends together and let's see what we have to say and let's see what we can share with each other. Does that sound good? Does anybody else need that? Am I the only one? No? All right, cool. So this whole thing is the brilliant brainchild of two people, but I'm only going to introduce one because I asked the other one if she wanted to come up here and she was like, no, and it was a hard pass. So, the first person that I'm going to call up to the mic to share some poetry is the co-founder of Colorful Colorado Collabs. And they have been doing collaborations of this nature with an entrepreneur, with an artist, and then with a local business to promote just everything, to cross-promote, to bring community together, to make sure that we know where our businesses are, where our entrepreneurs are, and where our artists are. So this whole like Dark Goddess Mocha and the photo shoot and everything is a brainchild of this woman. So please help me welcome up Celeste.
Hey y'all, how's it going? Is this better? Can you hear me? Yeah, all right. Well, thank you so much, Assétou, for inviting me to warm up the mic, if you will. It's great to be here. My name is Celeste. I'm the founder and owner of Celestial Alegría, which is my consulting business. And it's great to see some familiar faces here. But yeah, as Assétou said, we've been working on this project. We're so excited to celebrate everything Dark Goddess. And throughout this whole month of October, we're really centering Black joy. Through the whole collaborations, Bianca Macan will be on the mic later tonight, but also performing her music in our next collaboration. So anyways, when I heard this kind of prompt of Messages from the Void, this poem came back to me that I wrote back in 2012. And it just felt like really aligned with the themes of this year that have been emerging for me around balance. And so with that, I'll just share with you. It's called Tightrope. Walking on a tightrope Sundered between disparity and hope, want and need, violence and peace, confidence and shame. Taking steps forward, I've always been walking caught between tension, trusting in the suspension of this rope beneath my feet I cannot see. There's a black abyss of uncertainty. What if I'm not too far off the ground? What if I fall now? Will there be a net or someone to catch me, hold me? I just want to feel security. But here I am caught in the middle of uncertainty, a rope that never ends, that always seems to extend. This is how my life has always been, between question and faith, give and take, you and me, reality and fantasy, pride and vulnerability. Truth and lives, last cries, comfort and pain, this in the ideal plane, who I am and who I was, who I am and who I want to become. Emotion and logic, heart and mind, control and freedom, inching on this rope, walking on a line, feeling all these tensions of mine. My life is held by suspension, hanging on this rope of tension, acceptance and rejection, hurt and protection. So what if I stop? What if I don't keep going? What would life be? Chaos, insanity, that's already me, broken and beauty. Balance. Balancing on this rope because tension is my life, joy and strife, comfort and pain, the unknown and the same. I am changed because I am no longer controlled by this tension, paralyzed by this suspension. I am walking, not pausing forward for me. Okay with falling into the unknown, I have grown. Even though this rope is what I know, I go forward, not knowing if this is the end. I'm no longer trying to pretend. I admit I am not okay. I am broken in every way. Today is the day. I accept who I am. I am me. I am free. All right, a little jitters. Yeah. This next poem, I've actually never performed this poem. So, but it is kind of hella old because I wrote it in 2016. Kind of old new shit. But you know, I really feel, so I titled it Dolor, which I feel like doesn't fully translate what I wanted to say, but just like the deep grief of this year has also been so real, and this is about an experience I had of like public grief. So yeah. Today I wept in a room filled with people in silence. The only sounds were the breaths and wails of grief from my body. I felt like I was screaming into the air as I felt my entire body breaking. My veins were ripping open. I pulled my heart out of my chest and held it in my hands. I felt my soul leave my body, and I felt a depth inside myself so profound. The darkness swallowed me up. Like the abyss of the ocean, I found myself surrounded in my shame and fear and grief, this place I have hidden not for refuge, but for survival. And now my entire soul is disrupted as I try to put the pieces of myself together, to live as a whole human being, queer, brown, woman, Chicana, and everything else. My people have been massacred. Their blood is on my hands. Just as much as my own blood stained my fingertips, holding my heart in that moment, I am reminded of all the times I could not recognize my own dignity, my own humanity. I wept, covering my face with the salt from within me to bless myself, but mostly to feel something. Hands covered me, held me, as I mourned the loss of my siblings porque eran yo y soy ellos. Me hacen falta, y cuando me miro mi reflexión en el espejo, les veo, me veo a mí misma. I forgot to mention that one is actually about like my experience with Pulse Orlando. So that really disrupted like my whole life. I wasn't like physically there, but just the witnessing of all of that. And so just to kind of add that context. But this last poem, as far as like messages from the void, You know, ancestors and spirit meets us in the void too. And so it felt important to also share this poem. It's called Nuestro Amor. It's about my partner. And yeah, I just feel like the messages here are part of, the hope of liberation. Like even in those times and spaces of void, how we can work towards that and find that. What up, Bianca? So here we go. I want La Frontera to know the tenderness of how he kisses my lower lip, and our tongues tussle back and forth. Congress debates how many billions of dollars should go to militarize al pueblo de mi familia. Él me llama su diosa, and I hope my people know su valor. Sometimes when he greets me, he tells me I am glowing, that my energy is radiant with life. When I touch his skin, I am reminded that Puerto Rico still does not have power. I lay my head on his chest and listen to his heartbeat along with the rhythm of his breath, and it reminds me of the drum circles at powwows, men's offering prayer with sacred songs. I fall asleep to this rhythm, and I dream of monarchs migrating norte. I see the faces of my community. I hear their stories unfolding about what brought them to this country and who they love and who they had to leave behind. I think of my parents struggling to make a decision set up by las promesas de capitalismo. If you leave your family behind, ya pueden lograr una vida mejor, el sueño americano. The words of our president about shithole countries echoes in my mind, and I look into his eyes. Seeing the visions of his mother and her hopes of escaping Trujillo, settling in Washington Heights por mi hijo a tener una educación buena, una vida más próspera. When we met, it was like the ways the shores meet the ocean. Mexica y Taíno, Olokun y Tonatzin, el mar y la tierra, the meeting of two worlds, and I would swim across many oceans to find our love. Just as I know you would journey again and again across this land to the heart of Turtle Island to find me. And this is how I know our love está más grande de morales y fronteras y leyes racistas, porque juntos estamos construyendo una puente, a bridge so large and so wide that all who step upon it pueden andar y cruzar y recordar nuestra sacredness. Porque aquí estamos en nuestra tierra, bañando en el esplendor de nuestra agua. This is the will of our ancestors to be where we are now, and with their guidance, we can manifest their deepest dreams to be free, to have peace, to reclaim our ancient traditions. This is our love. Este es nuestra amor, to taste the sweetness of freedom, to smell the rain in the middle of many deserts, to hear my name called with affection, to see your curious eyes wide open, and to feel the wonder of being whole. This is the love I want for our people, for our children, un amor de liberación. Gracias.
Give it up big and loud for Celeste. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Way to kick it off. All right, so I know y'all noticed some snapping going on, some vocalization. It's not just for the cool kids. It's for everybody. You can do it too. And I think you should. And the reason that we do that is because, one, spoken word is a really ancient tradition, comes from the griots in what is now known as Mali in West Africa, right? And so this isn't an entertainment set. This isn't us like getting up here and entertaining y'all. No, this is a conversation. This is a community coming together. So when y'all hear us snapping and being like, go in, poet, talk about it. What's another one? Franklin, help me out. Bianca? Swim, poet! It doesn't make any sense. A lot of them don't make sense, and that's okay, because the point is that we're showing our support. And the most beautiful thing about this gathering to me is that I was scared out of my mind. I felt like I need this space. I was very scared. I felt like I needed this space, and I'm like, all these cool poets that I really want to spit, I'm just going to ask them and hope for the best. And people showed up, right? And y'all showed up, and we're here together, and that's how we support each other, and that's how we get free, like Celeste was talking about. That's how we get this movement, is one of us says, I have this inkling to do something, I'm just going to throw it out there, and everybody comes up to support, right? So that's what that snapping means. That's what swim poet means. That's what go in poet means, like all of that stuff. So please vocalize. And it's also a way to get you to connect with your body, because we don't live in a culture where we're always up here. And when you feel something in your body and you just kind of like suppress it or push it aside, that's not healthy. So vocalizing is a way to be like, oh, I felt that, and just name it, right? So this is the space to do that. So please lean in. Okay? Yeah. All right, dope. All right, so the next poet I'm about to bring up, he is a dancer. He is a biologist. He is a poet. He is the best hugger. And his name is Franklin Cruz.
Hola, buenas tardes. Good evening, everyone. I want to say, first off, thank you to the original stewards of this land, the Cheyenne, the Sioux, the Arapaho, the Ute, for literally curating the land and keeping it alive for as long as the rest of the stupid people to show up and then do what they did. But you know, till then, thank you to the 4 elements for sustaining us. Thank you to the ancestors of the past, and thank you to the ancestors of the future and the ones that we currently are. So I'm gonna keep it on, it's too cold. Right? I wore it for a reason, but then it got cold, so we got the message out. Yeah, I'm just gonna read 3 poems because I feel like we are all in a space of just processing right now. So for me, messages at this point, they don't have conclusion because we're literally in the midst of it, right? So you are meant to get messages and be like, the hell am I supposed to do with that? Right? And you're like, this is like 2 years early, man. And you're like, tight, you're ready though. So you listening. I wrote this, sadly, years ago, but it has a lot of applicability today, right? I'm 28, decided years ago to run out the colonizer's voice. I'm the only citizen in this body. When I did, I picked up a pen, laid down history, pulled out the true story, cleaning history of its rage. I write sometimes not for myself, but for the sting of illiteracy in barrios, for the burn of educational segregation, and for the insult of an Americanization class. Porque yo me enseñé a escribir en español yo mismo. En la tinta encontré Aztlán, el que se robaron, el pecado de la colonización. You see, I am the sin of colonization. I am the success of its volcanism. I am the daydream of Minutemen. I am the hostage of imbeciles. I am the motherland forgotten. I am the repatriation of a dream. I am the lava still pouring. I am the melting of teeth, the melting of history. It is a slow whipping of an undefeated immigrant and the children who still hold him up. I am the cleverness of that revolution. The daily front lines, the Mexican refusal, the defiance of my living, the everyday of chingate way, the relentless of me. Burn the borders. Pour gasoline onto the map lines, watch the territories ember, know that the land will do away with politics just like decomposition. Slugs in their eyes, maggots biting at the Congress, to know the history of this White House, the secrets in its trees, the policy of my ignorance, a wretch, blind faith. I am a bee inside of a hurricane, inside of a control room. Foolish am I to believe in democracy, the shiny thing that made politics a little more shady to play in. I represent the self, honest to my people, unapologetic about my life. I represent the history half erased, the burned temples and codices. I am the resurrect of their ambition. I am the corn in the lava. I am the sweet potato in the Pentagon. I am the one they cannot poison. I am here. I'm literate. I'm educated. And I am not alone. I mean, to be the most honest, they start off like that. I wrote that poem as a response. I was pissed back in 2012. Like, they're late. I've been here. But with that being said, I've been here and I have made my whole ass host of mistakes. This quarantine especially really gave me a lot of opportunity to process a lot of those mistakes, which I hope y'all did, you know, and it really made me own a lot of the things that I was misinformed in, or again, I was late to the game. Some of us are just getting on this game, right? And so you should prepare to make mistakes. And you should prepare to have people hold you accountable. And you should prepare for the uncomfortability of having that and then having conversations with their friends who are also your friends and then being like, oh shit, they're right. Fuck, right? And then you're like, dang, I'm the one. I'm the one on that. It's me. And then having the grace to still show up in community, right? That's the hard one. Is having the grace to still show up in community, and then for the other people, right, having the grace to receive them back into community when they are done and ready. That part, when they are done and ready. You can't just come in with grace and then be hoped to receive with grace when you haven't done shit, right? Like, that's just a part of it that I had to learn too, right? And it's uncomfortable for some of us, and guess what? The most annoying thing is actually not that big. Like, when it comes down to it, it's not that big. It took me 3 months of silence to realize that it was not that big, that I could have just recognized real quick and then got on with my life, right? The big thing was my ego. So, it's called Messages from the Void. What'd you show up to? And with that, I'm just going to give into this. I was at an event the other day. It was a wonderful event that looked at the intersection of LGBTQIA identities and immigration. But in so doing, I ended up receiving a poem from creator about mariposas, butterflies, for those of you who don't know. And then I was reminded of that natural law of what transformation actually means. So, the most marvelous thing about the monarch mariposa, with a body that the wind can rip apart with just a thought, is that it will dare the entire migration all the way from here, Colorado, down to Mexico. There is solely one plant in this area that will amorously pull that little creature out of the air. It is the milkweed. This one standing castle in the middle of our mountains. The way its scent can just pick up this lovely melody that is just beating off of that butterfly's wings. So when it comes down, there is a dance in our mountains. And it starts a pollination cycle. And every immigrant knows this too. What it is to arrive into a situation that has no idea of your tiny body and how it can also be ripped apart by the wind, and how you show up to this standing castle of an idea and still make a dance where no one even knows you are there. There is such a dance floor that happens inside of immigrants' households. The way they are moving between all the jobs that they have to juggle, still helping the kid read through that book, still helping themselves learn a language that they are late to, and somehow finding a way to watch Sábado Gigante because it is that kind of week. This is the kind of struggle it takes to be an insect who dares fly above every single rocky mountains we see. When is the last time you dared anything that brave? When is the last time you took your tiny body and dared a mountain? Said, you don't stand anything against my ability to bend this wind under my body. Do you know what it is to lift yourself with nothing much but your heart, this soul, and the ability to sing because there is a plant calling you home in a different country? Again, this is something every immigrant already knows. To have children waiting in a different país, and all you hear in the wind is the mamá, is the papá, is the primo, is the hermano, all the names that they cast out like a hallelujah and hope to God that like a mariposa in the middle of a migration, they make it, that it finds you. And all this impossibility, and maybe like a dance happening between an insect and the plant, that impossibility also makes it, and you do receive this message in a dream or in that song that popped up that saved your Sunday, the one that shifted your mood and made you okay for the rest of the day, the pozole that filled you and reminded you that ancestry is real, it's in the bones. Why do you think we walk this way? Why do you think we stand this tall? Why do you think I can move and my muscles don't have to ache or break when I know that the melody, just like that migration, is within me? There's something so definitive that mariposas have to melt inside of their chrysalis to become who they are. And again, how every immigrant already knows this. Cool. I'm gonna do one more. Yeah. I was like, here's the other one then. If I will tell you this, if you are moved by what I said, I wouldn't have been here had it not been for that individual over there.
Huh?
What? They said who? Nah, not them. What? But this is what that meant, right? When they were saying like when community shows out, you know, I could have not shown out. I could have been heavy with work and gone home. I'm not gonna lie. I had fall camps today with little kids. You know, I definitely do want to be like, time out, I'm gone. You know, little kids take that out of you. But I also, there's a hella new moon. I'm not gonna lie, that was out there. It's like legit. And so I was like, there's literally a vibe in the air, right? There's a call. There's, again, that rhythm that I was just talking about. There's a rhythm in the air. And I was like, well, right? And you just like bounce over to the place. I wasn't moving fast, right? I was like, I just gotta get here. That's the goal. Just get here, right? And then we got here, and then I got like fed, and now I get to feed, and then I will be continuously fed, and then I'm gonna be all right. Cool? We're gonna be all right. Cause who is it? Lady Speech, shout out, thank you, wherever you are. Dope. Lady Speech, thank you for telling us this. We gotta save ourselves. Ain't nobody gonna fucking save us. Right? Like at the end of the day, we see what's going on. I feel it in my spirit. I'm gonna vote and I'm gonna try to do all them little silly things, right? But at the end of the day, like I'm just feeling in my bones that this is going a way we all know. Because if you got melanin in your skin, you can kind of feel the way it's going, right? All your ancestors are just like, watch that, hella watch that. That's obvious. I don't even have to tell you to watch that. That's just blatant. And you're like, man, like if A plus B equals C, y'all, you know, we're going into a path where, yes, if you do not know where to get food, I will name myself. I know how to get you free food, right? Like Farm Sustainable Food. One of the people who's growing free food is right there. Like that individual right there will literally hook you up with free food, right? If that's the situation you need. Are you a queer person who really wants to get down in your body you don't necessarily know? I literally see Kiki Vogers over there from the first Black started like voguing organization in Denver. Do you need that? Are you a playwright and would love to get into the playwright world and you don't know? I can see two people right here. Like, you know, that's what I'm talking about. If you need connects in this community, by all means, you just have to start having conversations. And trust me, I buy so much less food from the store now because of that individual right there. And my money is going to them, right? Like that's the whole point about this. If you're willing like to drop $100 on ski passes and shit like that, you can drop $40 on kale greens and whatnot from that person, right? It's that simple. Okay. So in that case, I guess that's what the poem's about, because that's what I was talking about. When you freestyle all the time now, you're just like, I don't know what we're talking about. I freestyled that last poem. Yeah. I did not know. I told y'all I made that poem up 2 days ago. I didn't remember what I said 2 days ago. I'm not that type of person. I just, again, messages from the void. If you love spirit, all I did right now, I was like, we're going to turn the spirit flip. Psst, and you just flip it on. And then you're just like, hello. Okay, cool. And then you go tell the people, right? Like, that's just what you do. I'm not going to lie, it takes a lot of trust. How many of you would trust yourself enough to come up here and do this? You could. You could. Like, that fool literally ran, like, what, 2015 umpteenth miles? I don't believe I can, but if I believed I can, I probably could. That's what he taught me, right? Two individuals over there, one is an MFA teacher, literally. If I did want to, I probably could believe myself into doing that because that individual right there believed himself into doing that, right? So, like, again, whatever you want to believe, just tight. Okay, anyway, sorry, I got to keep going. I ramble. We're going to do a shortest poem since I've been talking a lot. Ancestros sagrados que corren dentro de mí, abren el río desde mi boca, y que disrupten toda esa dam that tries to hold back this fluya de mi mente. Ojalá que cuando entre a este lugar aquí, que limpie toda la tierra que quiere tratar de aterrizarnos en una mierda, en una sagrada incorrection, something that reminds us that maybe, dear spirit, if I just lean in and unpack like a good cake, like a good tres leches, like something that my sister makes on the ends of Sunday when it is game night and she just wants to show us love, that we find a sweetness in this, This is now a prayer so that maybe the rocks can hum us into tranquility. The wind can go ahead and bake us into a cake that reminds us that the most ancestral things about us are within ourselves. There is something so magnificent with trying to just be yourself in a community that accepts you, that even with the mistakes and the flaws and the luxuries and the triumphs and the boredom and the inconsistencies that you have, you are still able to show up as yourself. You're still able to be loved as yourself. And this is my only wish for y'all, that you hear these words not as a poem, but as a prayer and instructions, that somewhere within you, your cells activate to allow this to happen to you.
Shit. And y'all getting the good shit too, because we've just been up in our house by ourselves, just like, I have poems for people. Anybody? What? And now you're just getting it all. Give it up one more time for Franklin Cruz. Woo! Yes, with the breakdown. All right. So I need to get all of y'all to give a huge round of applause and love to this man right here, Ryan Fu, who is like doing 7 different streams right now. And so Ryan Fu is of We Are Denver Black Actors Guild. It's so hard to name these artists because they got like 5 different owner of, co-founder, executive director at. But yeah, Ryan Fu's been holding it down. And if you need to be on your stream. I know, I don't understand why we're in person and still online. But you need to be on your stream checking for these poets' Venmo and Cash Apps so you can send them money, because this is a labor of huge love. And if you're getting fed by this, make sure we are fed. All right? All right? All right? All right, there it is. All right. And speaking of us being poets in our house, lonely AF, Kenya Fasha, the next poet that I'm about to call up, has been trying to like put poetry and things together so that we can have a place to spit, but it's really hard on the web. But she's been holding it down. She is the co-founder of 5280 Artist Co-op. She ran House of Fire. No, what was it called? House of Poetry. I'm sorry, y'all. It's been a long year. I don't remember what happened before March. House of Poetry. Does anybody know that the house is on fire? No. We did our best. All right, please welcome up Mahogany.
What's up, family? Okay, we can take off masks. How y'all doing? All right, this is great. Like, this is the first time in a long time I've been on an open, like, live mic. So, Assétou, thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you to all the poets that have will speak, and if you haven't claimed your poetry that you are a poet, you know, shout out to you too. So, you know, so love and light. So, I'm just gonna get into this. I wrote a poem this morning, and I'm just gonna, yeah, we're gonna pop the cherry. We're gonna pop this cherry. So let's see. So yes, just wrote this morning. So yeah, poetry from the void, right? Yep. Yeah, so rock with me. Dear 2020, I mean, goddamn. So much we have to deal with. Dumbass presidents, pandemics, and bullshit racists. If there was a sequel, the headline must fit. One black woman killing all white supremacists. I'm not a killer, but don't push me. Stand back and stand by to this. Hear them sounding their little trumpets, but my voice is like thunder. Spitting flames and fire. Warrior born fighter, they call me Hippolyta, Amazon. She stay ready, cutting heads steady with this machete, crown heavy. So I say, let's get petty. queendom locked, kingdom loaded, coming for your head, your most useless organ. You've clearly underestimated this mahogany melanin to be a monolith or a myth. Whatever you conjure in your spirit, I'm for peace. But if you want war, my 38 and I welcome your visit. If love is too hard of a task and being nonviolent no longer lasts, what will you do next? People spewing out threats because of the color of your skin. By any means necessary, my loved ones I'll have to defend. So please choose wisely when you decide to choose and declare war. This lioness has emerged, waiting for her prey to cross her front door. Ancestors behind me, billions deep, eager for their release to seek peace or bury them 6 feet deep. We're not scared, we're prepared, waiting on them to shoot first, because worse comes worse, my people come first. So who's that creeping through my window pouch? Nobody now. That's that piece, y'all. Yay. I wrote that this morning. That's great. It's got received. Awesome. It's received. All right. So I'll say a couple more pieces. Cool? Yes, cool. So these poems, I tend to repeat them because I feel like they resonate so heavy with what's happening with me and everything that's going on. So they're my favorite pieces. If you heard them, oh well, I don't think none of y'all pretty much heard them. Y'all don't know me. Y'all don't know. All right. So I'm gonna do this one. Curvy and black, thick brick house like that. Matter of fact, you can say that she's stacked, racked, or built like a stallion. Everybody bow when she come around. It's like that. I've always wondered if the thickness of a black woman's hips were thick enough to sink ships because of the burdens that she's been forced upon. Not to be bold, not to be outspoken, or even to be sugarcane thick. Not knowing that her lips can only speak sweeter than honeydew. But society says never mind her mind and undermine everything that honey do. And here come you, wanting to ridicule the cinnamon glide in her backside, something that she built this nation on, something that they hate her on but try so damn hard to take her form. Don't align your fakeness to her greatness. Quit parading her breasts because you can't seem to climb over the power in her rolling hills. Don't envy, but then empty your sculpture into her trash. I'll call you a thief, because you have stolen her body parts, put them on display and made a mock of her body's art, when all she really needed was the hands of her community to remold her canvas, to build the notion to protect and respect the black woman at all costs. Without community, we are lost. See, her frame has framed the faces of this nation. But because of the lion in her glow, they want to nickname her Intimidation. But ain't she just a woman? I mean, ain't I a woman? Free to be me in my own universe, not wanting to dream to ride in the back of a black hearse is a curse. To be hated and to be loved at the same damn time. But go ahead and call me an angry black woman for what I believe is called genocide, because when a black woman dies in a jail cell and there's nobody there to see it, is it still considered a homicide, or a suicide, right? Right. It's already been shown that black women can't even sleep alone in their own damn home. So why should her silhouette be a threat? Because she is black, because she is female, or because she has quick language on her tongue? She is mother. She is queen. She is daughter hell queen with quick language in her mouth and tears that exceeds her pain, just asking you to remember her always and always to remember her name. Say Sandra Bland, y'all. Say Breonna Taylor, y'all. Rest in power, queen, because you'll always be curvy and black, thick brick house like that. Matter of fact, you can say that she's stacked, racked, or built like a stallion. Everybody bow when she come around. It's like that. That's that piece, y'all. Dang. Woo. Yes, thank y'all. Thank you. I almost messed up on that, you know what I'm saying? Don't drink before you do poetry. Okay, sorry. My last piece, y'all, so just gonna get into it. And thank you so much for the love, thank you. Every morning I wake up, I take a paintbrush and I dip it into the color of mahogany. I take that same paintbrush and I begin to paint a smile on my face, making sure that I look closely in the mirror so that I can fill in all those blotches of abandonment and abuse. No excuse, just cover, girl. Cover up those black-headed secrets you've had hidden inside your pores for years. Or try Maybelline, maybe lean to the left, maybe they'll miss your missteps. Inhale, breath. Now go out into this world, girl, and smile. My smile. I often mistake it for attire, putting it on one smirk at a time, hoping that I don't catch words of fire. You know, those same old lines of people asking you, hey, girl, how you doing? So you got to smile audaciously and say, I'm fine. Knowing deep down inside that anxiety is moved in on your mind, heartbeats increasing, depression's been hungry, been feasting. But no time to deal, gotta push through, no time to feel, because that's what grandma them say, do. They say, pray about it, baby. Don't let it get to your head, but prayer without faith and work is dead. How do you go to the hospital and check on the illness of your body instead on what your mind is being fed? See, I smile because I am black and I am a woman. I have to smile because I am a woman and I am black. No matter what I'm stressing, I'm always having to fight this double oppression. I'm smile so that they're comfortable with this black girl's flesh, because God forbid I'm seen smiling while black and now they see it as a threat. So how do you cope? J. Cole said it's better to meditate than to medicate, and I think that's dope. But what about the ones so entrapped inside their minds they can't seem to find their hope, hoping that this ill mental would get easier to battle with thoughts that are so damn harsh, but at the same time so fragile? Mask on, mask off, mask off, mask on. Smile big, smile bright, so they don't ask, hey, what's wrong? It's okay not to be okay. So how do you stay afloat? I lift the corners of my mouth because that's the only way that I can cope. See, I smile every now and then. See, I smile even though I hurt. See, I smile because I know God is working. So I smile. I smile. Thank you, guys.
Ugh. I'm all in my feelings. Are y'all in y'all feelings? Are you having a good time? Are you with us? All right, bet. Okay, good, because it's my turn to spit. There's no fancy intro. I'm just going to tell you what it is. I realized that I didn't tell you what my name is. My name is Assétou Xango, also known as the Dark Goddess Poet, which is some branding I came up with during this void. So I'm just going to read this thing that I wrote. I don't know. This is awkward. All right. Yeah, I wrote this is awkward. Is that not the poet? Okay. Who is the Dark Goddess? The Dark Goddess, look at you fucking up, Diego. All right. Who is the Dark Goddess? The Dark Goddess is genderless. Is she? Is he when they want to be? Dark Goddess is midnight warrior and still tongue. Dark Goddess is comfortable in the dark, in the resting, in your quiet places and wrecking your peace. Dark Goddess is subtle, shadow, disruptor. Dark Goddess is eclipse, is black, is woman, is pansexual and polyamorous, and all the things your mother warned you about, and some things she didn't even know to fear. Dark Goddess is death, decay, rest, space, silence. Dark Goddess is festering under every band-aid you pretended would be enough. Dark Goddess is that pit in your stomach, that fear and that fearlessness, the comfort and the most discomfort you have ever felt because you have never wanted to be small, and you know that living big means facing all the things you fear. Dark Goddess is the guide through the dark because we are not afraid, because we know anything within us can't be bigger than us. Dark Goddess looks deeply into the darkness and comes back alive. It is the Dark Goddess who says, look, you'll die, yes, but the rebirth. Hey, thanks. So yeah, I wrote that recently, so new shit, retroactively. And I realized that I've actually been, like Celeste and I were talking about this on a recent live. I've been like writing, like the Dark Goddess has been using me for a long time, and I'm just now catching up, and I still don't know entirely what it means. But this is an older piece called Define. Yeah, that further explains. Define. Lady. As in, act like a lady. As in, lady in the streets, but a freak in the sheets, be quiet. Don't talk so much, you think too much, you feel too much, compartmentalize. Pour love and nurture out, keep sickness and pain in. Don't talk about the OBGYN or your period in public, that's inappropriate. Get to the feminine hygiene aisle. Everything that makes you woman is unclean, you are unclean. Have a light fragrance to your scent. Bounce past them effortlessly, realize that you are a walking pornography, let them watch. Don't lead on that you let them watch. This is a delicate balance, but be compassionate. Learn how to take a joke or a compliment. After all, you probably would, just as he says, look pretty on your back. Define goddess, as in Sekhmet, Et Eru, Bide, Ishtar, Kali. Bite his head off in bloody gore. This will liberate his soul from the body when his flesh has become too rooted in ego. Be compassionate, like the fire that sets full woods aflame just to fertilize the soil. Your breath is what carved the sand dunes of the Sahara. You are that big. Your purpose, that large. Your mouth, that wide. Be loud. Tell them that you were not deceived by some snake. You are the snake. The crow, the vulture, the harbinger of death bring a maternal fury just as dark and chaotic as the womb that birthed them. Lady and goddess are not synonyms. Women were not put on this earth just to please you. Do not call me queen as if it will seduce me into your submission. It will not. It will conjure the demon inside of me. Define. Devil, find root word, Devi. Origin, Sanskrit. Gender, feminine. Meaning, the shining one. Meaning, your reflection. Meaning, you hate yourself, then throw epithets at me. If you do not picture a goddess with a machete, then you better read up on your Oya. And if you think just because I'm spiritual, it's going to be all ohms and namaste, well, I suggest you skip the westernized yoga class and read a goddamn book. Kali, the divine mother, shows herself in over 10 forms, from the peaceful lotus-dwelling Kamala to the decapitated Chinamasta pouring her own blood down her throat, making everyone uncomfortable. I am a tower of your discomfort, only because I do not fit your definitions. Define woman, lady, goddess, woman defines themselves. Oh, shit. Yo! Oh, I think they're here. The feelings. Okay. Oh. All right, I'm gonna read two more. One of them shorts, I promise. It's not like a poet short. It might be a poet short. You know what I mean by poet short, right? It's like you still scrolling. You know what I'm saying? All right, but this is a recent one, and I want to make sure that I talk about messages from the void. Well, hold on, because I screenshotted it, and I don't feel like I got the first page. Wait for it. 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves. Yeah, talk about it. Gas me up. It's going to be a minute. All right. It's going to work out. I promise. Okay. This gives us the time to, like, you know, I don't know. I'm just making up shit. Let me get this poem. All right, bet. Nope. Okay. I got it. Okay. Trust your knowing. Trust your instincts. Follow your impulses. I am afraid that all my medicine will dissolve listlessly on the wound. I am certain you have never needed me, but I am in desperate need of being needed. I surrender. I am terrified. I am uncertain. Please use me. I surrender. I have medicine. I have doubts. I have support. I am connected. We are connected. We are fire still. We have been called minorities so many times we started to believe them. How could we believe them? No army sends this many troops for a non-threat. They are not scared for no reason. They have heard the thunder answer our call. They have not forgotten what we don't remember. We are gods. The sky is with us. It cradles us in the day and mimics us at night. I don't know where the depth ends. I don't know when the light calls, but I have never seen anything that did not move in a circle. Allow, surrender, act. It is cyclical, spontaneous, and unplanned. The ego moves strategic, sets plans in stones. It loves to be disappointed or proud, scornful or superior, but the spirit, without personality or justification, moves, flows, stills in perfect time. I am the writer's pen. I will move when I am moved. When not needed, I will rest. In this way, I fulfill my purpose. The role I play is bestowed upon me in the same manner as my breath. How else could a universe operate? Okay. So I'm gonna do one more poem. Thanks, love. That was really needed. I appreciate that. Since I'm really bad at introducing myself, this poem does it better. Give your daughters difficult names. Oh, we have a favorite. Okay. Names that command the full use of the tongue. My name makes you want to tell me the truth. My name does not allow me to trust anyone who cannot pronounce it right. Washan Shere. Many of my role models, contemporaries, but especially ancestors, have a name that brings the tongue to worship. Names that feel like ritual in your mouth. I don't want a name said without pause, muttered, without intention. I am through with names that leave me unmoved. Names that leave the speaker's mouth unscathed. I want a name like fire, like rebellion, like my hand gripping masses whip. Now I want a name from before the ships. A name Officer Wilson might choke on. I want a name that catches you in the throat if you say it wrong, and if you're afraid to say it wrong, then I guess you should be. I want a name only the brave can say. A name that only fits right in the mouth of those who love me right, because only the brave can love me right. Assétou Xango is the name you take when you are tired of bearing your jewels under thick layers of soot and self-doubt. Assétou, the light Xango, the pickaxe, so that people must mine your soul just to get your attention. If you have to ask why I changed my name, it is already too far beyond your comprehension. Call me callous, but with a name like Xango, I cannot afford to tread lightly. You go hard or you go home, and I am centuries and ships away from any semblance of a homeland. I'm a thief's poor bookkeeping skills away from any source of ancestry. I am blindly collecting the shattered pieces of a continent much larger than my comprehension. I hate explaining my name to people. Their eyes peering over my journal looking for a history they can rewrite. Ask me what my name means. The fuck does your name mean, Jackie? Not every word needs an English equivalent in order to have significance. I am done folding myself up to fit your stereotype. Your black friend, your African queen meme, your desire to learn the rhetoric of solidarity without the practice. I am trying to build a country, a continent, a home. The body is a safeless place when you do not know its name. Assétou is what it sounds like when you are trying to bend syllables into a home. With shaky shudders and when whistling through your empty, I feel empty, motherless. There is no home in a body, no safety in a name. A name is honestly just a name. Nah, that's not quite right. A name is honestly just a ritual. And mine still sounds like reverence. Thank you. There's a lot of energy, y'all. Like, y'all are, whoo. All right. So I'm going to get out of the way for more poets. Is that all right? All right. So this poet, I'm really excited about. I'm really excited that he agreed to be here. Because I've been, like, Facebook stalking this poet. And like, oh, my God, they're so cool. And then I, like, commented on something. And he was like, yeah, I think you're cool, too. And I was like, what? So I'm really, really excited. I feel like this is the first time that we've shared a mic. So please give it up for Stephen Dunn.
Thank y'all so much. Man, I'm so happy. Y'all motherfuckers are good. It's like, this is really nice. I've been a fan forever. Just like watching everybody and just like, gotta learn, right? Man. Oh, boy. All right, I'm going to read a little thing called At Work. All right. Can everybody hear me okay? Y'all good? All right, cool. So, at work. Sarah said my sister's name, Shaquisha, was a made-up name, as if the name Sarah floated from the sky with a snowflake. Hunter hung his season's greeting sign on the cubicle while straightening his Santa hat and asked me if I was in the spirit. I said no, but that I was ready for Kwanzaa. He said Kwanzaa was a made-up holiday and offered me a candy cane. But over time, your people have gained equality, said Bill, when I told him I didn't celebrate Independence Day because my great-great-great-grandparents were certainly not watching fireworks on July 4th, 1776. But everyone loves summertime and cookouts, he said. It's so fun. Plus, there are all types of sales. How can you not love the 4th? Heather rolled her eyes to herself at Bill. In the break room, she told me privately that what Bill said was pretty messed up and insensitive, and that it is unfortunate that other white people continue to talk over people of color. It's just chatter, 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 she said. That's all it is just chatter, which made me think of white noise. And how Heather won't say anything about it to other white people, so that is white silence. But whatever, I can leave work. I don't have to go to any of their all-white neighborhoods to their dinner parties where I'm the only non-white person like the last few times I went. I'm also a writer, which means I usually read this piece aloud at some point, and I usually read it in a room full of white noise and white silence. And I'm never sure if this piece is adding to the noise or the silence. So I gave up on writing about my lived experiences and became a fantasy writer. I'm currently shopping around my first fantasy novel where white people who realize they too have made up names and holidays I'm trying not to laugh, but y'all make it so hard. All right. Oh, shit. All right. And where white authors write stories about racism and shit and participating in it, you know. There's a publisher who is very interested in my fantasy novel. He says, the writing is great, but it's a tad too serious and too didactic and not very fantasy-like. I try to argue that this shit is serious for a lot of us. And besides, there's nothing more fantasy than that. He says, I know what you mean. I really do. But what I mean is fantasy for the people who will be buying this book. So I changed the setting from a progressive metropolitan area to a vague British-like countryside with castles and fog and shit. And I changed white people to elves. My fantasy novel is now selling well, and I get a lot of fan mail from white people who are just shocked and disgusted by those elves' behavior. I'm now on book tour. All the cities have started to blur, and all the bookstores feel the same. All the interested white faces in the audience, and the occasional black and Asian face. Before I start my reading, I make eye contact with the only black dude in the audience. That's not true tonight, so the joke doesn't work. But I'm glad it doesn't work, right? Fuck that joke. No. He gives me the nod, the right on. Return. Hello, everyone. to thank Pay here. You bullshit, so I turn it up a notch. It is truly an honor to read at this incredibly amazing bookstore. Now I will be reading from my novel, The Elves of Estelarta. Chapter 1. As a troll, I travel every day from my foggy marsh to the crystalline province of Estelarta. Upon entering the glowing gates atop the lush verdant knoll, I take a left past my old leathersmith shop and continue to my new employment amid the scribe enclave. There aren't many trolls in the enclave. However, elves abound, gliding to and fro, fulfilling their scriberly duties. Not many elves here have interacted with very many trolls, although we don't live far from them. On occasion, some elves like to touch my troll hair and ask about our foreign customs. Some elves think I was only appointed my position because of a law called confirmatory process. Meldiriel, one of my elven workmates, asked me about my recent leave, and I mentioned that my sister Garlaqua and I journeyed to the shores of Machna and frolicked amongst the flora. Meldiriel said my sister's name, Garlaqua, was an invented name, as if the name Meldiriel sprouted from a glistleberry tree. I glance up at the black dude in the audience. I know he feel me, my nigga. I keep reading, blase blah, whoop-de-whoop, Shakespeare reference, hyperbolic adverbs, whatever, until I'm done. Thank you all for listening. I'll be at this table signing books. I signed a few books. Some white people tell me they're shocked and disgusted as usual. Fantastic work. That I have an ear for musicality and language, and that I'm what happens if Toni Morrison and Tolkien had a baby. The black dude is walking up, and I rush a white dude out the way because I know I'm about to have a deep convo with the homie. He gets to the table, and I start to give him some dap, but he just looks me up and down and says, "What's up, brother?" "Thank you for coming," I say. "Don't thank me," he says. "I only came to see your sellout ass read this bullshit." I look at him like, man, don't confront me like this in front of these white folks. But he keeps on. You used to be about something, but now you writing about elves and shit, trying to make white folks happy. The white guy I rushed off steps back in and says, "Excuse me, sir, could you please have a little respect for the author?" The black dude says, "No, he should have had a little respect for himself, old sellout ass nigga. Old tap dancing for the man ass nigga. Oh, I love my master ass nigga." I say, "Look, bro, I'm just having fun. It ain't that serious." He says, "This shit is serious for a lot of us." "Come on, man." I say, "You know how it is." "No, I don't know how shit is," he says. "Do you, though? Go sign some more books. Have a blessed day, ye old sellout." Thanks.
Yee. Y'all heard that yee? Oh. Just a jab. Give it up one more time for Stephen Dunn. All right. So, this is a celebration of Black joy. This is a celebration of Black femmes, y'all. This collaboration is hella deep. So, I'm going to bring up one of my favorite Black femmes. How can I list all of the things? She's an incredible poet, painter, your screen printing. She's playing the flute, a new kind of flute. Y'all don't even understand how incredibly talented and genius this woman is. And when shit hit the fan this summer, she was on the front lines organizing protests for literal days. Please give it up, and give it up hard for Korea White.
Hi. Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you. I was like stressing out because like I have anxiety about how I was gonna get up here. So we're here now. There we go. We did it. We did it. We did it. We made it. Hi, Mom. I'm just gonna get into it because I feel like my anxiety will go away if I do that. So thanks. Something that I've been thinking about is just names. I think like I'm gonna keep that going tonight. But I didn't like my name for like the longest time. My name's Korea. And I remember my mom picking me up from school one day. They were like, Violet, like, your mom's here. My mom, like, looked, she's like, who the fuck is Violet? And I'm like, hi, like. So this is, like, kind of about that. But the prompt was, say your name without saying your name. Yeah, Violet. Yeah. I want to be like, yeah, okay. I've known rivers of jock bed taunting gators on the Nile and wicker and cords that tack shame to Egypt. Names a basket of the most high barrels succumb with premature staffs of snakes and locusts, coming to reclaim this space. I've known the rivers of all my mothers, how they'd run down corners and elevators shaking down songs from Africa to Atlanta to fortify this new genesis in the name of the most high that will reclaim Lenox Avenue. And so she names me a name that bites me in the mouth, leads me to correct their tongues, pouring bleach on my foundation, instructs me to close the screen door because they letting all my cold air out, and you better not miss that goddamn bus. Names me a name fixated on the Sphinx's nose, names me a name that could bring pyramids to their knees, names me a name that the Congo has never seen before, names me a name that has never been colonized. My name tilts heads back and hands knives to nails, pries open unseasoned paper-cut lips, pours cocoa beans and ladybugs down throats that still bow to alabaster crowns, introduces them to brown sugar and grits. Nazareth becomes my body as my name takes on the form of a lamb. My fingers as apple juice falling from the bark wings decolate the waves as the river watch my crown be bathed in this new moon. Shout out Aries. Christened in a library, and so it is unfathomable to the columns that are now my bones that I ever loved a Brian or a Chad or a William, that I ever decapitate the head of a long tradition of rivers, that I ever give my limbs to the gators, that I ever threw my staff away, that I don't split oceans, that I don't reclaim space. And so I relearn Omaris and Jardanis, Oshuns and crosses laced with K's. I have let temples know the oil of Pompeii for Adisa and Germain, a man named and bathed in indigo, twisted with Imani. I will name it of the rivers, like my mother, and my mother named me, Korea. Thank you. I scrapped like all of the poems that I was gonna write or read today because I was like in the car. I was like, "Nah, this ain't gonna hit." But I was thinking, I was like, "What does void mean?" I was like, "What does that mean to me?" So this next poem is about the void. Void, V-O-I-D, adjective, not valid or legally binding. Noun, a completely empty space. Verb, discharge or drain away. Association, either direct or adjacent, because sometimes the adjacent matters more. Empty, vacant, blank, vacuous, absent of any significant, relieving, or intelligible features on a surface. But that's all Oxford language that they never intended for my body to know, much less talk about, so I reimagined what it means. Void is my body, like travels back to, void in my body sounds like travels, not yet embarked from East Africa to Arabia, fumbling down peninsulas, wetting my face, because I have found peacemakers instead of Aries, beloved proxy wars that will always lay waste to the soil instead of buildings of the mothers of interest. Void sounds like the day I finally said I am a poet, which is to say that I discovered gesso and canvas, which is to know that I am both liar, gatherer, and executioner of truth. Because being a poet is understanding that there are multiple truths, which is in its entirety redefining what a liar is. And the void sounds like the day my sister was born. Feet down and collarbone broken, but still hopeful of a giggle reminiscent of a drunk laughter from her past life, new primate intimidating a sister she did not know, which is to say she tried to fill the space with noise. The kind that chauffeurs you around the definitions that hide this world until you earn the wheel to erect the narratives untold. Reclaiming the lamb story and burning the lion skin in baths of crimson fire because they never did justice to the story of the ambush before the fall. Which is to say, void allows me to relearn Harlem in ciphers, rediscover darkness and magnifiers of solution, which is to say I get to see my sister become a poet. Void is when you are laughing off camera, not trying to fake a candid for your wedding day. I can only construct what it means to be blown wide open and open blood-stained ivory on a song that sways with what is left, and sometimes what is left is void. Void looks like years after 2020 reappropriated masks as flags to show we survived. Void looks like the internal organs of reality, twisting and turning, rearing our spongy necks towards the mirror. We continually break for sacrifice, and I suppose we only fear our bodies because we cannot see them. Void is endless possibility of falling between a song rather than a detriment. Void being bite marks healed and plantations closed, questions not answered, constructions of what do you want? But this is what void is by my definition. I thumb through my tongue for it as my glossary, and I flick my fingers to the pages of empty palms ready to receive tomorrow, because tomorrow is void. Okay. Okay. All right, like the anxiety's like all the way gone now. I'm like, yeah, I'm with my people. Yeah. So 2020, right? Like, can we skip to 2021? I don't know. But everyone knows Boulder, right? Boulder's like always on some shit. Yeah. I go to school there. And my microeconomics professor was like on some real shit the other day. So I read a poem about it this afternoon. 2020. It is my first class of the day in August of my senior year of college. And I am sitting Zoom University pretty, cameras on and microphone muted. It is a class about microeconomics. Yeah. I know. And my professor, Alabaster and the embodiment of hegemony, shares his screen to the clippings of Breonna Taylor. Shooting and protests following. We are to discuss because it has been a heavy summer. 5 minutes found weeping miles to my lips, and he stares onto the blueness of the screen where I can only imagine he witnesses a live carcass gaping with eyes right before it is about to be hit. And he asks the only brown box in an ocean of ivory, Miss White, it looks like you're feeling a lot. Do you have something you want to say? Now, this is like before I cussed him out. No. What I really want to say is I hate it here. No, what I really want to say is I'm tired. What my body wants you to know is this cannon boom of a year has done more damage to our collective psyche than we can imagine, that there is no magic reset button for the trauma on the 1st of January 2021. So take care of yourselves. And I suppose that my third suicide attempt in the past year would lend itself to oaky flavors of wine bottles and pills, or that my arms were faceless so it seemed less personal to carve them than to mark up a tree. That I am going to meet a carpenter that I am not sure I believe in, but y'all have somehow convinced entire generations will place the final nail in my mahogany coffin. And I guess what I really want to say is my thought process behind that is, if I have to go out, it won't be another story of a cop shoots black woman and no one rallies behind it. It will be me. But anyway, what I want to say is humanity does not exist in America. What I really want to say is the first time I ever saw my budding breast in the mirror, I cried. That I was now this woman Malcolm X said is thrown by the wayside. How I hummed red and smelled like copper. I waited for them to put me out in the Hudson because pain is a prerequisite for love for black women, become giant women who most people couldn't even tell you isn't in New York. Statue of Liberty is not in New York, it's in New Jersey. I just want to put that out there. How my nightly routine now consists of dabbing blood on my cheeks and pressing my clothes to be casket sharp so that they know exactly where the 22 holes are. And I tell my neighbors that the ones that missed will be far more important than the ones that hollowed out my body. What I guess I want to say is, why am I here? No, that's a question. I guess what I have to say is a question. Can it be a question? I'm not sure I have a statement without some man coming to decapitate my hands. So of course I'll frame it as a question. Spare some walking mommy issue and Air Force Ones their fragility. No, of course I don't have a statement. But here are some things I would like you to know or ask. Why are we so afraid of revolution? When do we start caring about Black women? Is it possible to piggyback off the idea that we live in a white supremacist state, or should we parkour off of that one? That's like my least favorite thing in class. They're like, can I piggyback off? No, you can't. Are we afraid to try something new? What is communism? What is socialism? What is democracy? And show your work, please. Is all this pain necessary? Why do the presidential debates sound like, do Black people matter? You have 2 minutes starting now. Sounds like, when are we going to do something? Where do we go when you don't let our bodies be quiet? How many deaths have I manifested through my attempts on my own life? Does my life matter to me? Sounds like, do white men ever shut the fuck up? Are Black people the embodiment of exploitation? If a Black man is shot in broad daylight and his back is turned with cameras out, who was trying to disengage? Modern day tree in a forest, I guess. If we turn a dead Black woman's name into a meme, how long before it cycles through Twitter? Do we debate white people's humanity on live television? Can history be disagreed with if we never learned it? Do cops get to be the judge, jury, and executioner everywhere, or is it just in a police state? Sounds like, do Proud Boys tell me to unmute my microphone, or should I just go for it? And as I sit there arriving at my words and a million different prayers trying to piece together some dual consciousness to speak through my teeth that I do not have anything I want to say. And so I see you, Black woman, your journal filled with your last words, and I suppose you become poet when you don't know what else to do. When a Zoom call could not catch the sucking of my teeth and the humdrum of a lecture at 2:20 that isn't quite ready to be colonized. And I guess what I really want to say is that some days you have questions and years later you have answers. And so what I guess I really want to ask is, whose year is it to give the answers? Thank you.
I want to give you a moment to really be in your feelings, be in the sensations in your body. If there is anxiousness, if there's a pit, if there's constriction, just be with it for a moment. And I feel like this year has really brought us to ourselves in ways that we were able to avoid. Had a lot of noise, had a lot of distractions, had a lot of bustling around. And now we have to be with ourselves and be with those sensations that we have been running from. And I can't speak to your experience, I can't speak to how it feels in your body, but I know for me, all of the anxiousness, all of the tightness that I've felt has been spirit trying to tell me something. It's been like a gentle, like, hey, write that poem. Hey, do that live. Hey, put together this thing. Hey, talk to that person. Go call them. Just call them. See how they're doing. Right? And those little things, we don't know how big they end up being. You don't know what a phone call to that person that you haven't thought about, haven't talked to. You don't know what's going to happen on that phone call and what that's going to ripple out to and who that's going to touch and what y'all are going to create together. And then what the people who are touched by that are going to create together and where that's going to go. And the next thing you know, you have a whole movement. And then the next thing you know, the whole culture has shifted. That is the only way that we get out of this bullshit. That's it. That's it. It's each of us do that little thing that's been calling us probably for decades. And you know what I'm talking about when I say that. You know the thing that makes you anxious, that you avoid, that you've been suppressing. Yo, there's no more time. There is no more time for us to sit on what are gifts. And yes, they are gifts. Just because you think, oh, it's small, oh, I don't know what it's going to turn into. You don't have to know the how. You just got to move and trust that your community and your ancestors and your spirit are going to move with you. Do y'all hear me? Yeah. No, but I need you to hear me. Do you hear me? Yeah. All right. And that is what I just saw my girl Korea White do. Is with all of the anxiety and all of the fear, come up here and tell us some shit that we really needed to fucking hear and sit with. So I'm going to give you one more moment to really be with that before I introduce the next poet. So Korea told me not to tell y'all, but but Korea is a future poet laureate. We don't know of what yet, but it's gonna be dope. And I made this lineup specifically so that I could say that, and then introduce Colorado's poet laureate, who I knew before he was Colorado's poet laureate. I want to say I knew him before he was cool, but that's impossible. He's always been cool. Please give it up for Bobby LaFebre.
Thank you, right? Like, I knew I needed this, but I didn't know how much I needed it until I was here. So thank you so much. And thank you all for being here. Give yourselves a round of applause for being here. Say what's up to the moon. And nothing like your friends to remind you that you ain't shit, right? I've been writing a lot during this time, and I've shared some and I've kept most. I'm going to do a medley. I do this sometimes where I don't stop, I don't explain, I don't introduce. So for my 7 minutes, I'm gonna just be saying things. Take inventory of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions during these wildly unprecedented and visceral times. These experiences will become heirlooms. We are collectively knocking at the door of a portal to new things. Don't get lost in yesterday or tomorrow. Be sure to be present today. We are watching the unfolding of new beginnings. Change is here. The actions and intentions we take and set now will become the grandparents of a movement that can and will be sustained well into the future. Ball your fists. And when the fighting is enough, open your hands to receive what we have been waiting for. Let the statues fall. Let the institutions burn. Let the system stand guilty. Let us build and imagine anew. The sirens are sounding. The screams are loud. The virus has packed its bags. World traveler without a passport. Borders are man-made. Walls cannot contain life on the move, but that's another story. Asian businesses were empty before streets. Racism. The toilet paper is gone. Panic begets panic. My 3 p.m. meeting is now a Zoom conference. Tom Hanks is raising his hand. Let's talk about the poor. 30 million uninsured, ends meet, public transportation to get there. Self-quarantine, privilege, paradox. Blue collars can't work remotely. Hourly wages, side-eye the salaried. Go ahead and cancel school. Child care is a killer too. Industrialized without a heart, developed without a conscience. Capitalism gaslights, blames our bodies instead of broken systems. Wash your hands, cough into your sleeve. Plutocracy lampooning universal health care. Call on your God or whatever. Just don't touch your face if you make the sign of the cross. You have work tomorrow. And together we watched it happen. Watched the stars come out at night. There, right before our eyes, a grand reveal. And the stars, the people, they did what they always do. They got up, They packed their lunch, they clocked in, they delivered their bodies, they took orders, they didn't complain. They were grateful, they smiled, they cashed their checks, they paid their bills, they were broke again. They prayed, they stretched, they made miracles, they raised children, they dreamed in grocery stores and fields, in janitors' closets and restaurants and shelters and classrooms and factories and banks and offices and warehouses, buses, trucks, trains, some in emergency rooms and clinics and morgues and mortuaries. They worked because rent, because food, because bills, because insurance, because integrity, because hearts, because someone has to make the money for those at the top who don't really make it themselves. 1, Karen has a gun. The gun was given to her as a gift. Karen accepted the gift with a smile, the same smile her parents and grandparents wore. After all, the gun is an heirloom. Karen takes pride in what she's inherited, too. 2 weeks after I bought my first home, Karen, walking a beagle or some shit, interrupted me as I was looking for something in my car. My car was parked in my driveway, the driveway in front of my home. Drawing her gun, she asked, "Excuse me, what are you doing in that car? I see you. I'll call the police and they'll be here faster than you can run." 3, Karen knows how to shoot. She doesn't fear the recoil. Karen doesn't always use the gun, but she's been trained how. Karen knows what a target looks like and how to load a magazine. Round 1, "Can you please stop? I am a white woman." Round 2, "Sir, I am asking you to stop. I am a white woman." Round 3, "I am taking a picture and calling the cops. I am a white woman." Round 4, "I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life. I am a white woman." Round 5, "He is threatening me and my dog. I am a white woman." Round 6, "Please send the cops immediately. I am a white woman." 4, Karen was studious. She learned her colors early. Karen knows what white means, and black, and brown. Karen knows what red looks like bubbling out of the holes of a body lying on the ground. A blade of green has found its way out of the womb of the earth. Sometime between the moon and morning, between rain and sun, the maíz announced itself to the world. I didn't see the exact moment it happened. Perhaps this is how all new beginnings commence. Some action of yesterday midwifing tomorrow. It entered this world unannounced, almost in secret, unfolding to the music of the crickets choiring. It doesn't look like corn yet, but I form the rows with my hands, drop the seeds where the emerald needle stands. This is what it means to believe in promise, to hang your heart on hope, to taste the future before it is here. Headline: when the San Francisco Bay Area locked down, urban noise levels plummeted. In response, the white-crowned sparrow changed its tune. I can only imagine how beautiful our songs will be. There in that imaginary place where all is calm, where we do not have to shout to be seen. How beautiful it will be to mold our mouths into instruments of joy, rage and weariness a distant memory. When the noise dies, the borders and the badges and the systems and the structures will be buried too. Then, listen to us sing, listen to us sing, listen to us sing. Today is an ending, a goodbye, a death, a despedida. The credits are rolling, the audience is leaving, but no one seems to know where they are headed. The sun came up today, but couldn't tell you why. When you ask the acquaintance you run into at the grocery store how they are doing, their voice will raise 3 octaves and say, "Good." Your voice will raise 3 octaves and repeat the lie. There are good days, but we are not good. The earth is shedding her skin. Democracy's ribs are showing. We're turning the page. Hope and fear play tug of war inside of us. Uncertainty is a vulture circling overhead. If today is an ending, tomorrow is a beginning. A greeting, a birth, a llegada. Tomorrow is a promise in the distance beckoning us to find our way home. And when there is nothing left to do but live, let us retire the noise and build a home inside the stillness. Grab a wrench and unfasten the parts of you that have become mechanical. Rest your weary limbs on the bed of anomaly. Outside, the machine is powering down. You can hear the birds when the gears aren't grinding. When there is nothing left to do but live, make a vacation of your body. Each part explored, a stamp on your passport. Begin with your heart, maybe. Crawl inside and sightsee. Ask difficult questions about who it is and why. Outside, the machine is powering down. You can hear yourself when the gears aren't grinding. When there is nothing left to do but live, simply show up. That has always been enough. And together, in this sudden strangeness, radical imagination will run wild. Tomorrow being built today. Thank you.
That's right, y'all. That's right. Oh, this is amazing. So we are nearing the end of our list. I don't know how I feel about it, but please make sure that if you don't have the streaming up and you're making sure that these poets get some donations, that you make sure to get those Venmos and those Cash Apps afterwards. You got me? Yeah. You got me? Yeah. Don't get quiet on me now. It's full moon in Aries. Did I mention I'm an Aries? What you gonna do? All right, no, it's over. Okay. Who's next? Oh, yes. All right. I lost my mind when I saw this person walk in and then immediately put him on the list. So please give it up. I love this human so much, and y'all are going to love him too. Give it up for Diego Flores.
What's up, y'all? Yeah, we're getting down. It's my blanket, my pillow, my sleeping mat, my jacket. I learned from my ancestors. Really powerful night tonight. Very, very powerful night tonight. Pounding in the silence. Out of the void, where were you going? Why are those steps running? Why are you grinding gears like we, but the void was teaching as we because they told us that we could. We can. Can't you see it in yourself? We just are. We be. We is like that kid, but no, we grew up like those flows. Poets just know it the way we spoke it, but it's just internalized the way we feel it. It's true. It just is. The void came from inside of something. Who? We don't know, but we just know it feels like something. Those feelings in between is the space, the rhythm that we need. Slow down. Watch the light change. Watch the hues change. Your feelings are hues. Your colors are you. We are colors. They are true. They said casualties are so casual in today's humanity. See, that's why I'm on a mission to make peace. And not pieces unless it breaks these concrete thoughts to reveal the secret. See, no matter how much you grew, we all started from seed, kids. You grew like Jack and the Beanstalk did. Who knew that seed was all you needed? See, society's a trap, so don't feed in. Just tune in to past lives and into ruins, cause I got the heart of Zapata and el sangre de Villa. Pumping through my veins, I could never be defeated, and neither can you, cause see, we are one. You're my sister, my brother, my daughter, my son. It's up to you to live life on the dark side or live life being graced by the sun. So grab the bull by the horns and run until you cough up a lung, because if you need to breathe, you always have another lung. Born August 16th, 1996. Some years have passed and now I look like this. The reflections in the windows remind me of reality, because in reality sometimes it's better in my head, because when I open my eyes sometimes it all starts to look different. When I look around my house for my mom, I see nothing but a little kid lost in the mall. And being taken to security isn't bringing me security at all. I just want my mommy, so I cry and bawl. But see, this is obviously a metaphor because I don't cry anymore. I learned a long time ago that if you're locked out, then there's always another door, so I learned how to pick. Not a door, but a guitar with my fist. And I wrote a revolution till I found the power between my lips and went ahead and wrote a little something about myself, and it goes just like this. Born August 16, 1996. About a minute has passed and I still look like this. A spinning image of my father, but a privilege it is to have a man show you how to be a man. Blessed to call him my mentor, my dad. Shared with me all the best times that he's ever had. All was going good until the government said its attack. Aimed at my mother, see, there was simply no going back. I'll be home soon, mijo. Stated as if it was a fact. My mother being detained because she was no longer a resident in the United States of my ass. Because, see, no one talks more shit than my ass, because I'm a beaner full of beans. Energized by carne and maíz. Fighting until the stones thrown knocked them to their knees. Like they did me. When they stripped me of my mother and left me to bleed. But see, almost 8 years have passed and I'm here writing at the age of 24. Because life's a reality check when you're living check to check, trying to break your own back just to have something left. So you don't go down to the pawn shop just to get the rest. Because see, people like me, we don't rest. We just pass out and wait for the day to pass on to the next until you're there one day and bah! Struck with lead to the chest. Someone pinched me before I stay in this rest, in this sleep, because see, that's all I need. Pops ain't working and the bill's still due on the 16th. But sometimes it hurts less to cut yourself than watch someone else bleed. But I got a puddle of blood and it's filled the room up to my knees, but I'm still standing. Nothing could hurt me. I'd rather die on my feet than live a second on these knees. And if they cut off my feet, then I'll run on these hands. Just as far as I possibly can, just to make you all understand that we're all old souls stuck inside some young man. When I look back in my life, see, I ain't really a fan. See, I'm cooler than that. I'm an AC turned to the max. I'm colder than brain freezes because I have no brain intact. I simply dream and my body just starts to react. I got a call from death the other day and I told him that if he sees life, that I'm done looking for his ass, because through it all, I'm happy. Happy as can be, because all I ever was a kid born on the 16th, just to get it through your head that my moms will never leave. Because see, she lives inside of me, like I lived inside of her. A connection shared through more than just childbirth. And when she says, when are you coming to see me? I say, when I miss your laugh. But in reality, I don't want to see my moms like that. I'd rather visit her in my dreams and talk to her in my head, because we both stare at the same moon every night before we go to bed. I feel my mom's presence every time I take a step, every time I take a breath, because I'm her kid. And I wrote a little something about myself, and it goes just like this. Born August 16, 1996. A boy outside of Whittier Cafe realized that miracles, well, they really do exist. Thank you. I was walking down the street and I caught eyes with this old guy, and like when you just know that you're going to talk to somebody, but like it just hasn't happened yet. You're like, it's gonna happen, it's like, they're like over there and it's like gonna happen. I know it's like, this is going to go down. And so I'm walking like excited and boom, I run into this phone. I'm like, damn, my bad. I didn't mean to, he's like, see, that's what's wrong with you kids nowadays. Just like walking across the street, looking on your phone. Like, you could have gotten hit by a car. What if I was a car, right? It's like, dang, like, you're right. Like, my bad. I was just trying to catch this Pokemon. Like, bro, bro, I'm sorry. Like, he's like, let me give you a piece of advice. I'm like, whew, this was about to give me the key to the universe right now. Like, it's going down. Like, this was the day. I knew that guy had the key to the universe. It's going down. What's up? He looked me in my eyes and he said, pull up your pants. And I was like, damn, this fool got me. Like maybe I would be more successful if I just had a belt or something, you know? Like, so, like, maybe that's it, you know? Like, and he's like, nah, for real. Kid, you are Diego Flores. Flores like flowers. Like roses, see, because roses do different poses according to the amount of potion. They ask him, boy, what you smoking? But I'm comatosing from some other planet, somehow crash landed, and now I'm frozen. In time, because punchline's cold like Rocky, the freezer breaking bones while I break this bread, because, see, this is the Last Supper, kids. I won't sip my wine till all of our people are fed, yet we've been fed. Fed up with all this bullshit, so we swallow these universes, try to record these lifetimes just to get through it, because, see, sometimes you gotta push. Like your mother pushed you out, but see, they can't push us out, because we're the 99%. You could hear y'all rumble in my shout, but it's crazy. When roses do different poses according to Moses, the way that boy could just split oceans. But see, I am only Diego Flores. Lleno de flores. I grew through the concrete, started off as 2 little thorns and 1 little leaf. Now look at me. I grew through every cornerstone, every crack and cranny, grew and grew till the freaking CIA was after me. But see, that's crazy. Because roses do different poses according to, roses do different poses. Every petal perfectly chosen. Well, baby, I choose you. 13 petals picked, and well, it turns out that I love you. But see, I love you not. Because I got a knot in my stomach when I start to write about you. So I just sit back and enjoy these roses dance, because they just have so many damn poses, and I just have too many questions to ask. So I'll wait till you're finished to ask, are you a rose, or are you just posing? Thank you.
Give it up one more time for Diego Flores. And I need y'all to know, every single person who has been a part of this project, every person who's hit this stage, Ryan Fu, shout out to Carson Holloway, this dude right here. If you need some pictures done, he has done all of the pictures for all of these collaborations for free. He has done pictures at the Black Lives Matter movement. He's trying to hide. We all see you. For free, printed out, donated, like this man is for real. So if you need a really good person to take some photos, hit him up. But everybody who has hit this stage, everybody who has been a part of this, Whittier Cafe, shout out to Whittier Cafe. Been so gracious, so generous. Go to whittiercafe.com to donate to them. We're all deep in this movement. Like, none of us are up here just talking like, yeah, we care about this. Nah. Everybody that has hit this mic is doing the things that they talk about. And Diego Flores and I ran a workshop. Oh my gosh, y'all. So we ran a workshop at this, what do they call it? Underprivileged or Title I. Let's go with the politically correct. So we ran a workshop at this Title I school. And this white lady, y'all. Oh, man. So she was doing her best. She was doing her best. But she was so concerned about these kids and where they come from and their struggles that she was feeding them answers and not allowing them to learn, assuming that they couldn't learn. Like, literally, we were asking them, like, hey, make an alliteration out of your name. And she's, like, giving them answers and not allowing them to speak. And so this was a 2-day workshop. The second day, it was so painful because she also didn't trust us, right? She didn't trust us to do our job. So it was so painful. So I came in there and I was like, look, you gotta step back. You have to step back and just let us do it. And so she finally got the memo and just chilled in the back, and the magic, it just flowed. And Diego had his guitar, and he sat there and played this guitar, and I was just like, listen to the guitar and just write. And y'all, like, they were comparing colors to their feelings to like what it was gorgeous. And she finally was like, oh, I get it. Like, my point is, like, all of us are out here in schools. We are uplifting Black and brown people. We are talking about these issues. We're talking about gentrification. Like, this is for real. So I mean to say, make sure that you donate to everybody who's been a part of this project. All right? All right, so this final poet. Give it up for this night. I needed this. This is pure medicine. This final poet, she's my anchor, yo. She like keeps me grounded, keeps me like, I need her so much. And I literally would not be on this stage if not for her. She came to my school when I was a sophomore in high school and did poetry, and that is the reason that I'm here today. So please give it up for Bianca McCann.
Can I say outside, I know this is about to be mad political, but I've been wanting to cover my face in public for my whole life. And the space I get in the supermarket, y'all. It's like they notice other people are around them.
Right, all of a sudden.
All of a sudden. Like they were always able to. You know that feeling where you wake up knowing something changed the day before, and for a few sweet seconds, as your eyes open, you can't remember exactly what. It was that wretched your dish rag heart squeezing out all the good juice. Maybe it was a dream. Was it? My third cloudy blink, the firing squad of synapses stands at attention. We all know the next steps, the blindfold, how the brigade aims all their truth right at your piece, if you ever had it, of course. Memories declare themselves, more than ghost or reverie. This actually happened. This actually happened. Is legacy. Is not going anywhere. Never has. Might never will. We are a million cliches waking up thinking it must have been a dream. Nightmare, right? Every morning. That disorienting gasp. Wasn't there something we were supposed to remember, to change, to fix, to protect, to love, to survive? Wasn't there something we could do to lower the barrels, or at least shield our children's eyes? Wasn't there something? Each disorienting sunrise, waking up slow in this lovely, immaculate, hunted skin. Yeah, that's how we're starting. Words, candor, relatability,
Word association.
thoughtfulness, fun, love, and love, and love, and love, love, and love, and love. Okay. I don't have a lot of softness. It's not necessarily true. I have more softness than ever. Yeah. I know my role in this. It's been the same this whole time. I've been good at it for a while. But in these settings, I don't got any adages. I don't got a ton of extracurricular sugar, right? I know where my sugar goes. Out here, we gotta go ahead and do them things. I didn't used to read this one in mixed company or public. We're saying the things, aren't we? Yes. Aren't we? It's like all over, ain't it? So then, like, come on. Wedding and funeral. I lost my love. Oh, I'm gonna cry about it. I lost my love somewhere between Brown and Garner. Hearts exploded in sound and hand and flashing light. He watched his own execution repeatedly. It must have been confusing when I kept speaking to him, kept loving him like he was upright and in front of me, kept buying groceries like there were two of us in this dwelling. He was all incredulity, skin jump pulsing around jaw, screaming, "Crazy woman. I am dead and decaying on the street. I am baking in 4 hours, son. How dare you insult your lips to kiss me? No necromancy will swoon me out of this grave. I am not, must not be, what with their guns and pride and defiance waving 4 inches from my nose. I am not. You love me. You are less. There is graveyard dirt on the hem of my wedding dress. There is a dying man in the eyes of my hope. There is a grim reaper in an unmarked squad car waiting outside our honeymoon suite. There is a magnet in the sky begging my beautiful blood and that of my lineage. There is a skeleton pushing his most malleable bits into a strange beauty since she doesn't yet know enough of herself or the world to properly siphon his magic. It's all fortune. They're all thieves. But not me. I'm safety. That's why he can't see me anymore. Since he died and all. It's too strong a reminder. Said everyone knows it too, and if he keeps showing up to the parties with me, they'll think otherwise and keep shooting, cover us in line. So he stays home. Says it's better this way. That I don't really want him, but I can't see it yet. That if I look down their noses and barrels, I'll see it better. Magnified like a scope, all the holes they left in him, holes so big I could see entire futures through them. Such vivid futures. In one, I was forlorn and unbridled. In another, I had a smile and shackles. Futures the likes of which he says he doesn't own, that this present is just that, and he doesn't remember who he borrowed the time from, only that others inherited while we're all paying for lineages, all the times we didn't die for breath before. My altar is awash in tear gas. My flower girl has a bullet wound. Her last name is Jefferson. Isn't that something? I worked 50 extra hours a week to rent this church of ashes. His groomsmen are pallbearers. Carry us home. This chariot was always rumored to be the sweetest. The void. So my poem for messages specifically from the void is just one long fucking scream. You want to hear it? Yeah! Let's do it. Who gon' somebody coming with me? I'm with you, bro. It's gotta come from your toes, though.
Yes, mean it. Mean that shit.
You gotta have your whole foot. Damn y'all.
Yeah, get your shoes up.
You gotta feel the ground, you know? You are here.
Yes.
It does matter.
Yeah.
It does matter.
Yeah.
You know how many people got offended at the howling? Because they didn't want to be reminded how human they are. We ain't scared. We're going to do a big exhale first because we want to make sure we fill up the whole body so get it all the way out. Get it all the way out. We're going to pull it in. We're going to fucking scream. Hold what you need to hold. We're going to do some box breaths. You let something go. You must pull something in. Our box breaths are a full inhale and a pause, and then a full exhale and a pause. Okay? I ain't gonna count it for you. I'll just tell you what I'll do. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. It's right for you. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Last one. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. If you're feeling outside of your body in a way that makes you think you might not want to get back, you hold your own elbows. If you don't want to hold your own elbows right now, ask yourself why you're refusing some love from yourself. If you don't want to deep breathe, you need a deep breathe emotion.
Yeah.
I like those box breaths because they show me who I primally am when I am full of everything and who I primally am when I am empty of everything. We're going to have to meditate.
Yes.
It ain't a choice, fam. So I got invited to live scribe this series of conversations about resilience in COVID. Yeah. And then they were wise enough to kind of shift. And actually, I really adore the clinician who was leading these conversations. But they were wise enough to rebrand a little bit, you know, a couple of weeks in to the whole situation. And then the second one was supposed to be about race. And I was the only black woman in the room. And I said, no, we're not. No, we're not. And they wanted me to write this. And the first time I went ahead and shared what I had, kind of some pieces of what I gathered, to be like, oh, it's going to be so good. You're going to love it. Send the check. And then the second one, I said, no, we can't. And this is what we ended up doing, what I ended up giving. It is a wound whose pain will only be measured after a someday healing unconfirmed, lacking clear finish, maybe a cliff around the corner or drawn out denouement, the screaming silence of an infected exclamation point, a virus making Russian roulette of hugs. But we believed even the air could be managed, right? Assumed executive authority over the competence of lung, assigned antiseptic protocol to which cries reach ear, which lives deserve breathing, equity hoarded, but aren't we all minorities when measured in survival rates? Our love has always generated hunger, and hunger perhaps has always generated risk. We are virally equalized through our impact on each other, declaring out of our monsoon faces that we would turn ourselves island if it provided the safest love, while children dream of grandmothers scrubbing the earth clean of what they call the big sick. Their questions pound torsos, reckless with heavy innocence. We are absent of adequate breath to accurately describe this new world, mitigating madness through mundane miracles, home-baked sourdough and human shields, streams and zooms at various sites of implosion. Why walk forward, fiending this road not bathed in fire, as though our feet aren't dressed up kindling, and dry winds play masseuse, our most constant companion, so much arid space to raise. What is it that we are in again, together? Call it terrible blessing, this neophyte awareness, the delicacy of our interweaving down to each inhale, each cooked meal, each sheltered bed, each met plea. We are only bridge or fence, a collection of yes or one closed denial, white flags waving over our cheeks and chins. This is the most eye contact that we have ever made. What is it that we are in together? Dear longtime neighbor, whom I've just met, are you also a ravenous neuron starving to be seen? To digest in some semblance of sanity? Have you calculated your chances of survival? Are you new to being a statistic, and how does that feel? Pray, maybe recognize those who have always been. And maybe there's a way through. That's what they asked me for, a spot of hope, an adage for the times. A way through. Maybe there is if we redefine through. Resilience shedding its skin, molting into fully formed compassion. Let our bounce be forward and not back. Sure, there is a way through. Rife with guides. Studied in how to get over, under, and around. They've penned instructions beneath their children's indigo eyelids, since some threats cannot be vaccinated and everyone's aspiring for safety at home. How about we become, finally, and authentically remain in this together? I love y'all so much. I can't
Yeah. You see what I'm talking about? Yeah, every time I have Bianca on a mic, I'm always just like, I don't know. Spirit's telling me to have you go last. I don't know what it is. I'm just doing what I'm doing. And that's why, y'all. Give it up for Bianca McCon. So in a moment, I'm going to have Celeste come up and tell y'all all the ways to get involved, all the ways to stay connected to this community, and all of the beautiful things that are coming out of it. But I need y'all to know that you can call it what you want, but you just went through a spiritual collective healing and release. So be sure that you take care of your body and your spirit and your emotions as if you just went through a spiritual collective healing and release. Do y'all see what I'm saying? That's really important. Like, don't be like, oh, I'm just gonna go back into my life. No, this was legit. Like, your cells have rearranged and released some shit. So I don't know what you need to do. That's take a walk, take a bath, eat some grounding food, but just make sure that energy, you give it back to the earth. Whoever you call upon, make sure that they carry you. Y'all hear me? This is really important. I mean this. Y'all hear me? All right, bet. All right. Oh, gosh. Okay. Come on up here. Tell the people what they want.
What they want? Oh, damn. Well. Okay. Yes, thank you for coming. You all are amazing. Yes. Once again, let's just give it up for the Dark Goddess poet Assétou Xango. Yes. So yeah, and my name is Celeste Martinez. I'm one of the co-founders with my good friend Alicia Bruce Trujillo of Colorful Colorado Collaborations. You can follow us on all the things at colorful.co.collabs, 1 L, because we know we don't need 2 L's for collabs. Come on. No. What is it? But if you follow us there, colorful.co.collabs on all the things, that's exactly how you will find us. Look up Colorful Colorado Collaborations. So earlier this week, I had this aha moment. Actually, last Thursday when we finished our last collaboration, I had this aha moment. I recently started my business shortly after Assétou relaunched their incredible business for Black femmes. And so my business is called Celestial Alegría. And Alegría is Spanish for joy. And I had this moment of aha, and it feels important to share with you all that part of what I'm committed to is my joyful purpose. And, shout out again to Lady Speech, because Lady Speech be saying all the things. For real. There was just this moment earlier this year, and it was just constant and resounding of, joy is also resistance. And that message is, is still resonating with me. It's still true. And I feel like as long as I am able and capable to cultivate and create spaces of joy, that's part of why I'm here. And so I was sharing that, with Bruce the other day, how, that's how all of this comes together. Because this is about celebrating Black, Indigenous, people of color, and our joy. And not letting anybody take any ounce of that away. That's right. Bianca McCon always says, all the joy I find, I keep. So as you reintegrate yourselves being reordered, that was really helpful. Just take it. Take it all with you. This is all medicine for you. Shout out again to the Aries full moon. And other things that are coming up for this Dark Goddess collaboration. Next Thursday, 7 o'clock, we will be having a virtual live stream performance by Kayla Marque. So incredible. If you don't know her art, you need to know her art. Exactly. when you get a Dark Goddess Mint Mocha, you can pick up one of the business cards. You can pick up some of the flyers that are here. Scan that QR code. It'll take you to her latest music video for her single Mercy, which we'll be sharing more about and the story behind that she created. She just put an acoustic version up if you just cannot wait. Like, just the art of this woman is incredible. So Kayla will be offering that next Thursday, 7 o'clock. You can follow our YouTube channel at Colorful Colorado Collaborations to tune in there. We'll be streaming here from Whittier. Let's see, what else? We have one final collaboration coming up. And actually, one meeting place that many of us in this whole series met. It was called Transformative Leadership for Change Fellowship, TLC. And for that collaboration, we are going to be fundraising to support that fellowship to continue to invest in Black, Indigenous, POC leaders. We're partnering with Rose House Botanical. So they will have a very special product for you all there, but also anything that you buy over the weekend, starting on October 22nd with Bianca McConn's performance of her music, because she ain't just a poet, y'all. She's like all the things, all the art. She will be sharing her music with you all that evening, including a brand new single that I'm not going to tell you the name of, so you follow all the things so you could come listen. But yeah, this is going to be some big stuff. So every Thursday, pretty much through the rest of this month, we got stuff going on. And thank you so much for coming out tonight. Thank you to the Dark Goddess Poet.
Give it up for Celeste Martinez. The reason you are here. Please make sure that you give a wave or thank you to Malete, the owner of Whittier Cafe, whittiercafe.com to donate. Look for all of the Venmos and Cash Apps and things, and take really, really good care of yourself. That's it, y'all. Have a good night.